Good day and welcome to the new face of BI with visual intelligence and the benefits of applied analytics conference call. For your information, today's call is being recorded. If you would like to ask a question during today's conference, you will find a Q&A tab or window on the left-hand side of your screen. At this time, I would like to hand the conference over to Mr. Simon Cummings. Please go ahead, sir.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Next in the BI Innovation Series. As the operator just mentioned, today we'll be covering, let's see, just get the slides to move properly there. There we go. We'll be covering an update on visual intelligence for you and the benefits of applied analytics. Today's presenter will be Alexis Serrat, who's the BI Solution Principal from the EMEA Centre of Excellence. The format will be that Alexi will go through and do probably 20 to 25 minutes and then have a 5-minute Q&A session. As the operator mentioned, if you would like to drop any questions to us, please use the Q&A tab on the left-hand side and we'll pick those up at the end of each presentation. I think it's probably best to handle them at the end of the session, but you can drop the question across it at any time. As mentioned, this session will be recorded and we'll give you details at the end about where you can pick up the on-demand webcast and also details of what's up and coming for the future for the November and December slots. We've still got a few people coming on board, so just a quick plug, I think, for a shameless plug for Sapphire while we're still getting a few people coming on board. In case you haven't heard, at Sapphire there's going to be over 120 different analytics sessions across the 3 days. So not just on the BI side of things, as you would expect, there's going to be everything around the BI Innovation Suite, but there'll also be a huge cover around HANA, mobility, GRC, EPM, and EIM. And as you can see at the bottom there, we've got a huge list of customer sessions as well. That customer list is growing, as you would expect, but there's some pretty good highlights there. If you have a chance and you are going along, please do check out the link and hopefully come along and see us on the booth. If you haven't booked, it's definitely worth checking out because it's going to be a great show. So that said, we've a few minutes in. I'm now going to pass across to Alexi, who's going to take you through the new face of BI with visual intelligence. Over to you.
Thank you, Simon. So my name is Alexis, as Simon mentioned, and I'm going to talk to you about visual intelligence. If we look in business in general, we can see that most of the people in business have questions. VP of operation, for example, like to know operational aspects. An analyst needs to dig into the data to find the information. But what we are seeing into the world is usually that there is some challenge to get this information in a timely manner. At the top level of management, people are usually quite are wanting to get the answer very quickly. They don't want to wait for the answer, which is something very valuable. In today's business, we don't want 1 week, 2 weeks to get the information. We want the information to be now. We want today information. We don't want last week, last month. And what we have also, it's analysts that spend times and times compiling data for other people and not having as much time as they would like to do some analysis, but as are really spending a lot of time to aggregate data, to calculate data. Especially when we talk about what we can say unknown information. So if we look at a kind of BI spectrum, it's known answer versus unknown question. So what we have at the bottom is really the standard report. It's something where you want to see every month, every week, the same report. It's something very static. It's something also very important, but it's something very static. And that's a little bit the kind of traditional BI. Then there was an evolution of that with something like ad hoc report, for example, for SAP Business Object, that would be Web Intelligence, where people can start to create or adapt the report. But it's still something quite static. It's still reporting, it's still static. We moved to a new layer that was OLAP and wisualization, for example, that also gives a little bit more of flexibility. But once again, something where you were mostly answering existing questions. And then moving also with dashboard and score. Yeah. And then the next generation in self-service BI to allow to answer unknown questions or questions that are new to the business is exploration and visualization. It's really the part where people can go in, even sometimes not knowing what's the question, but knowing what's the problem and trying to find out what is the source. And visual is something that is very important for us because it's something that will help you to find creative idea, that will help you to compare data, that will really help you to get the insights into your data versus some very static data. And as I've mentioned, something quite important around that is self-service. So self-service BI is something really targeting the business user. It's not something targeting IT that with standard reporting and something like that. It's really something that will target the information consumer. It's really something that will target the people that will see the information. So the key aspect for that is you need to have a near instant value for business users. You don't want those business users that need to answer those questions to spend a week training, to have to spend a lot of time with IT to set up the system. It's really something where they need to have a quick return on value. It's also the ability to access and manipulate heterogeneous data source. You don't want to stick to just one data source. Often you get, for example, some data coming from the enterprise data warehouse, but also an Excel file that is coming, for example, from an external marketing agency or from your sales operation. And you want to be able to combine those data, to manipulate those data together without, once again, relying on IT. Big data is one of the quite trending subject in IT. We see so much data going up and up that we have a lot of volume of data, but we need to be able to process those data. And once again, we need to have some performance. You don't want to wait 3 hours to get some information. You want the information, once again, right now. And on top of that, you need to have some powerful visualization. As I've mentioned, is the best way to get some insight into your information. It's really to have some powerful visualization where you can interact. So if we look at a little bit the kind of landscape, what do we have? We have in one side the product that I will explain a little bit more, visual intelligence, that allow you to acquire data, transform and visualize data, coming from a traditional database, coming from an Excel file, coming from a universe, from business objects, or coming from SAP HANA. And then you can transform those data, manipulate those data, add calculation, create some geographical hierarchy, creating some time hierarchy. And then you can push this information. You can push this information to cloud solution, being Streamworks, for example, from SAP. You can push those data directly to Explorer, so SAP Business Object Explorer, so people can use that with Explorer on the web or Explorer on mobile. Or you can push it to HANA also, for example, to be consumed with Explorer Web and Explorer Mobile. So really the idea there is for the business user to be able to quickly, very easily acquire data, merge, transform data coming from different data sources, eventually create some visualization, and push the data set. So that, for example, other people in the organization, in the department, could access this information, this enriched information, for example, with Explorer Mobile. So really, SAP Visual Intelligence is for the business analyst. It's for the end user that will really access this information. And it's one of the fastest and easiest way to get answer on big data, on different data. And what's very important there is you will not need to involve IT at all the layers. It's really a tool where it's something that can be done by the end user. So as I've mentioned, it's very fast. If we look, for example, in the case of using SAP Visual Intelligence on top of SAP HANA, you get all the information in memory. So all the calculations are done in memory. There is no latency. You don't need to define any hierarchy. You don't need to define any aggregation. Everything is done on the fly by the HANA and visualized to SAP Visual Intelligence. So think about the power of that. You don't need to, you can explore freely your data. If you load, for example, your customer information, you don't need to be aggregate by type, by date, by user, by anything. You can do any kind of aggregation, any kind of extract of information, any kind of visualization on the fly. So it's something quite powerful there. Just to show you a little bit what the product looks like, unfortunately, we will not be able to do a demo today, but I will give you some links and some insight on how to see the product. So very easy, you've got a welcome page, you've got some tutorials, you can access the website, you can get help very easy. So you don't need to train the business user to use this tool. For basic usage, anyone can really use the tool without any advanced training. In fact, it was when the product was designed by SAP, one of the aspects was this capability of self-learning of the product. So it was taken into account when we built the product. We did some tests with users without training, just to ensure that it's easy of use. So what you get, it's a little bit busy, the interface like that, but you get all your data, so your semantic, what we call semantic pane with all your data. You get your data, you can hide them or display them. You can get some visualization, as you can see on the bottom part of it, and you can do the data set management. All these parts you can hide and show them depending on your needs. The data set management is something very interesting. You can replace some data by other data. You can merge multiple data sources together, data sets. You can create new columns, so if you can split some columns, you can replace some information. So for example, if there is some minor mistake in your data set, you may want to correct that. You can correct that on the fly with that tool. So you can do part of an ETL job, an easy ETL job. You can do that directly in the tools. Once again, without having to rely on IT, it's really something that will be done by the end user. And you can then, after manipulating those data, you can create some very powerful visualization. So, as I mentioned, maybe too much, but it's really the concept of self-service. It's really you don't need to ask for IT for help. IT will need to deploy the product and things like that, but you will not need a day-to-day needs from IT. So, if you want to create some report, dashboard, visualization, you will do that through the self-service. It's the most self-service tool we have. But you will also leverage your existing BI environment. So as I have mentioned at the beginning, you can connect to ANA, Excel, and so on, but you can also connect to Universe. So if you have already developed some Universe being both UNV and UNX, you can leverage that. So you don't need to redefine a semantic layer. You really can leverage all your existing BI deployments. And it's something really that you can integrate in part of your BI strategy. You have people that really need to have the self-service. You want to start a small BI project. You can really include that in your BI strategy, with keeping in mind the fact that you can still export the results to Explore. So with SAP Visual Intelligence, and that's the important part, you can acquire data from corporate and personal data source. You can synthesize and transform the data the way you want. And you can discover data trend and so on by building visualization. So as I have mentioned, you can extract data from flat file, CSV or Excel. You can extract data from Universe, from ANA. But you can also extract data from SQL. If, for example, there is a database that you really need quickly to connect, but there is no metadata defined, no Universe, you can really, with just one single SQL statement, extract some data. You can mash up data. So this is the data merge. If you've got data coming from different kind of data source and you want to merge those data to create a common data set, you can do that directly in the tool. Once again, no need to involve IT for that. Same thing with transformation. So you can see, you can duplicate, you can run column, you can split column, you can create lowercase and so on. Find and replace, something very interesting. If, for example, you used to have two product lines, you merge them, but you want to do some reporting, You can rename some data and then do reporting on the combined data. All kind of in terms of interface, it's very easy. It's all drag and drop. So really, you click on the type of visualization you want, and you just drag and drop measure, hierarchy, dimension. It's really drag and drop. If something, you cannot drag something, for example, in one type of visualization, it will tell you why and so on. So it's really something that is was designed with the end user in mind. So some of the people may think, okay, that's good, but what is really the difference between visual intelligence and Explorer? So there is three main aspects. It's the acquisition of data. So Explorer is a tool where the data is predefined. It's the tool where the data already exists. So it's not something where you've got this this extraction of data, this snatch of data. You cannot transform the data. So it's really something, again, where you can do this transformation, and I insist on that. That's something very important. And you also have way more visualization. You can really define the way you want to visualize your data. You've got a lot more options. So it's not something where you should see visual intelligence as the same type of information as Explorer. So really visual intelligence for the power user, for the business user, for the business analyst, but you can push the results to Explorer. So when he has done all this transformation, when he has done all this data merge and so on, you can push the results to Explorer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by for a moment as we are experiencing a momentary interruption in today's conference. Thank you for your patience, and please continue to hold. Please go ahead, Mr. Surratt.
I'm sorry for the problem, my line dropped. So once again, think really about visual intelligence as the tools for the power user, the analyst. And the idea is really that this person has the knowledge of the data. So when you look at an ETL project in general, there is a lot of work involved with IT and the business to define the data. What is the value of data? And you usually have quite a ping pong because someone discovers something in the data, wants more information, you have to go back to the ETL and so on. With visual intelligence, with a little bit of limitation compared to a full ETL, you can do a lot of it with the business user in mind. The person that knows the data, that understands the data, can do this transformation, this manipulation, and send it to Explorer. And because it's one of the really important subjects now is SAP HANA, so the in-memory aspect. And the idea there is that visual intelligence works very well with SAP HANA. So what do you have in today? Well, you've got your business transaction in your different data of systems, and at the end you need to do some analyze and impact. What you need to do today is you need to create a in international system. So the usual challenge, the large volume, the high impact. Then usually what you need to do on top of that, you need to do some aggregation, you need to do batch transfer into the data warehouse. And then finally you can do your reporting. But what you have, you've got some limitations. It's predefined. It's what I was saying at the beginning. You've got some aggregation that are already in place. And as soon as you want to go out of something predefined, you've got either a very long query runtime or it's not possible. You are waiting, you are losing some of the details that were not moved part of the data warehouse. You have to wait for some of the reports releasing on IT. If now we think about the same thing, but with SAP HANA and visual intelligence in mind, with SAP HANA, we do real-time replication of the business transaction in HANA. And you've got all this advantage of HANA that I will not cover in that workshop in terms of high performance, large volume, data processing. Everything is done in memory. And you will leverage that with VZ because you will have the flexibility. It will be fast, not only because the product is designed with calculation and so on in mind, and it's running very fast on the machine by itself, but because it will also leverage all the power of the HANA, all the calculations, regardless of what you want to do in terms of drilling, filtering, aggregation, all of that will be pushed to HANA. And the strength of HANA is really to this high performance. So really you will get this high performance with no aggregation, no data staging, no data map, straight from your business transaction to visual intelligence in no time. So the benefit of SAP Visual Intelligence on HANA, for the business user, it's the self-service aspect. It's the faster time to analysis. You don't need to wait for a data mart to set up for an ETL job and so on. And it's really because it was done in a design of self-service ease of use, you will have an increased adoption of analytics. And this is something that is very important for us. In terms of IT, if you already have HANA in terms of TCO, it will be shorter in terms of deploying and so on. It will be connected, so you will already leverage data security and so on, and you will only have one IT security to define, and everything can be done through single sign. Next slide. So the good news is that you can try the product by yourself. As you can either connect to a business object or Universe or HANA, or if you don't have any of those, you can connect to any Excel file or CSV file, and you can get a trial at that address, and you can get a 30-day trial. So there is no limitation in functionality, it's just a limitation in time, and you can really see the power of the tools on your own data. It's something that is very important for us, is really that you can see with your own data. We could show you on standard demo data, but you will not have the same value. That's why we really think that this trial version is something very interesting, because you can test by yourself. And of course, there is quite a few websites that can give you more information. The things that I think is quite important is go to YouTube and type SAP Visual Intelligence. You will see a lot of demo. You will see a lot of product overview. There is even demo by industry or line of business that you can see. So really you can get an idea of what the product looks like. Of course, there is a trial, as I've mentioned. You can also find some information on SNC, on the blog, and on Twitter. There is quite a lot of information. For the people coming to SAP VI, we will have also one dedicated booth to visual intelligence. We will have some trial aspects to it. So really, do not hesitate to come and see us on the analytical campus. You can really play with the tools and see the tools. So what we kind of call the SAP difference is, think about, it's already, if you already have a BI investment, a BI infrastructure, it's not going to disturb it. It's something you can add on top. You can leverage your existing environment, and you can give to all the business users that require more flexibility, that require self-service, that want really to be able to drill into their data, to analyze their data without having to go back and forward with IT. This is really the perfect tools. If you are an ANA customer and you want really to do some reporting analysis on ANA, this is absolutely the best tool. Simon, if you can hear me, I think we can do the Q&A now.
Yeah, thanks, Alexis. Okay, so going from the first question that's come in from Hadar, and I apologize because I dropped for a while, so I might have missed this. Hadar asks, is this only for HANA? What about BIA or BEX query?
So at the moment, no, except that you could probably leverage BEX query in some other way to extract the information via Universe. But as far as I'm aware, for the moment, it's not either for BEX or BWA.
Okay, next is from Renato. Is it possible to merge data coming from BI Universe and Excel?
Yes, absolutely. You can merge any kind of data source.
Okay. Let's see, we've got one from, they're starting to fly in thick and fast now, so bear with me, guys. We've got a few minutes. So Kevin Murphy, do you see IT personnel migrating towards business and performing this kind of analysis work, thereby creating a more collaborative environment, or will it separate IT in the business further?
No, because this tool is not going to replace everything for BI. This tool is really for a specific subset of users. And it will not replace reporting. It's not going to replace dashboarding in general. It's not going to replace, for example, exploration or so on. It's really for a specific set of users, the analytical user, the power user, the information user, depending on the audience and things, there is quite a lot of names. But it doesn't represent the mass of BI consumer. It really represents the person that want to go further, that want to be independent. But it's in no way going to replace what I will call more the traditional BI.
Okay, I'm not sure whether this one's cut off in its prime. How is this platform positioned regarding BI 4?
So SAP Visual Intelligence, and sorry, I probably forgot to mention it, is a desktop tool. It's something you install on desktop. And in terms today of interaction with the BI platform, is just connecting to the BI platform to get the Universe connection and leverage, let's say, the Universe to extract the data and so on. But it's a desktop tool. It's something you use on your laptop, and the connection to the platform is limited at the moment to the Universe part.
Can you give a bit of background to what sort of architecture requirements are needed? For example, how many servers, etc.?
So as I've just mentioned, it's a client tool. So you don't need any server-side components. In terms of clients, you need a Windows 64-bit environment at the moment. I can't give any specific date or guarantee at 100%, but we should have a 32-bit version coming towards the end of the year. In terms of memory, you need, I think, 4 gigabytes of memory. And one of the reasons, to give you a little bit of insight on the architecture, is that all the data, when you load the data, is stored on a runtime of Sybase IQ, so it's very fast, very performing, and we use that in the background to do all the data manipulation and so on.
Okay, we're going to pick two quickly before we move on to the next one. Does HANA effectively replace SAP BI and BW?
No, in no way. So I think it's a very long discussion, but no. If you look, SAP HANA there is a lot of different cases for HANA. There is, when we talk, for example, about BW, you can do BW on top of HANA, which is one of the wonderful things you can do with HANA if you want to accelerate your BW way more than BWA, because you will accelerate not only the reporting, but you will also accelerate the loading of the data. Now, there is some need for real-time reporting, where you don't want to wait for the data to be loaded in BW. And in this case, HANA as a standalone data warehouse is something very powerful we can do with real-time replication of the ERP without affecting the performance.
Okay, we've got quite a detailed HANA question, so I apologize. We're probably going to skip that one and come on to it in a separate session. So I think the final one, so we don't cram for the applied analytics side too much in there. The last one is, what is required on the business user machine to be able to use VI?
So Windows 64-bit with 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay, so at that point, let's move on to the next presentation, and if we finish a little bit earlier, I'll try and come back to these, else we can try and pick them up separately and email you, or get back to you at another time.
Thank you, Simon. So moving to something not totally different, but a little bit different, it's the benefit of applied analytics. So there is this little kind of sentence. Let me show it. Okay. It's coming from a Gartner. Is business intelligence is dead. Long live business analytics. I think the sentence is a little bit catchy, but the idea is that it's more now. If you want to make a good decision, you need to go further than sometimes just the standard BI. It's something where you need also to include things like EPM, GRC, and so on. So it's really one of the things important to know is that it's and it's not the main theme of today, but it's really that you want to be able to go further than just a business intelligence to really get to the next layer. So for us, we are going to focus on this specific part, so analytical application, business intelligence, enterprise information management, and data warehouse. So it's let's say, a classical stack. We will skip the EPM and governance. So it's really the classical stack. It's really what we see in not all, but 90% of the BI deployment. You've got some application, different type of application, different type of data source. You use an ETL to extract those data, transform, synchronize, merge, and so on, loading into a data warehouse and putting some reporting on top, plus eventually some analytical application. So this is really something that we are seeing everywhere. And for SAP, we have all these solutions in our portfolio. So we know about all of these things. And what we kind of decided recently, it's that if you need analytical, including BI, if you need data warehouse, if you need ETL, why not package everything in one license? But it's not one product, it's really one license. And really the idea is that you get one complete package from SAP. You get all the software you need to build from your application to your end user reporting. You get everything in one package. So what do you have? You have your data source being a database, an application, operational data, regarding of that. At the moment, what we are seeing some customers using is SAP Data Integrator to really do the extraction, the transformation of the data and of the discovery. Then we do all the storage and SAP Sybase IQ, which is one of the top performing database for reporting, in fact. And you've got business objects. So we have already quite few customers that use these three products independently. And really the idea is that why needing to have three products, speaking with three different people, three different enhancements and so on, when you can have everything into one product, which is SAP BI Business Analytics Edition. And what will be some of the values? So it's kind of tuned to perfection. So SAP will certify that those three products, Business Object BI, SAP Sybase IQ, and SAP Data Integrator, will work together and end-to-end stack to deliver you. So it's really something we guarantee that it will work together. The interesting aspect is you will get a faster and Azure deployment. You will not get any of the integration challenge. You will not have to chase down different vendors. If you have different versions, something upgrade, let's say the ETL upgrade, but the database not, but you will not have any of those problems. If you need support, you will have only one vendor. You will avoid all the you need to check with your database vendor or with your ETL vendor or your BI vendor. You will not, none of the, how can I say that? People sometimes, when you have multiple vendors, will hide, will say, no, it's not us, it's the database. If you just, for example, BI and database, you will not have those kind of things. You will not have ping pong between vendors blaming each other. You will have only one person. So it's really, in terms of best approach, you will only have one vendor. And the advantage you will have with these vendors is if you look at those three tools, they are top tools in, for example, Magic Quadrant. All of them are very good products. So you will get both a one vendor approach and the best of breed. You will get both in really one offer. And in terms of IT cost, you are going to really minimize your TCO. I will not go really deeply into the licensing aspect. It's something you need to check with your account manager. But it's something where this package of license is per user. So in terms of TCO, you will only pay per user. If you have 100 users, you will pay all of these tools, ETL, database, and BI per user. So, or per concurrent user. You will not pay for the infrastructure. So imagine the cost if you have big database, where you pay quite a lot of money in maintenance every year. Just to give you an example, I did talk with few of our customers last month, and they did the calculation, and for most of them, the extra cost of the license, so for them migrating to their old license to the new, so migrating from BI license to this new analytic model with data warehouse, ETL, and things like that, the cost was cheaper than the maintenance they pay every year just for their database. So in terms of investment, reducing your maintenance cost, your recurring cost, it's a really good offer. I really encourage you at least to contact your account manager to see or will apply to your specific case, but you will see that your TCO will really lower, both in terms of maintenance cost, but also in terms of investment in training, relation with your supplier and so on. So it's really a cost-effective solution. So if we look at is Sybase IQ, if we look at just the Sybase IQ part, it's something that is very widely used. It's not a small database or anything like that. It's in fact a big database. All the statistical measures in Canada are done on Sybase IQ. In the US, all federal tax returns are also handled by Sybase IQ. In Korea, all the citizen health is handled by Sybase IQ. SAP Sybase IQ allow the largest commercial information provider to try, including 30 of the largest information providers in the world: Nielsen, Experian, TransUnion, Axiom, Dun & Bradstreet, Thomson Reuters, and so on. And it's deployed in more than 200 financial institutions: HSBC, Goldman Sachs, Allianz, Citigroup, and so on. So it's not a small database in any way. It's a database that can handle a very large volume. And when you think about this very large volume and the way normally databases are licensed and the maintenance is licensed, it will be, once again, way cheaper to license their user. And I can't give you exact number because it depends on all of your specific case, but it's way less than the upsell is less than the BI part. So it's really something where the investment is not that high and where you will get a quick lower TCO. As I have mentioned before, big data is something that is very common. It's something we are getting a lot more than what we used to get. And with Sybase IQ, and the way Sybase IQ is designed, you will get a much quicker response time for BI. Sybase IQ is really a very, very good database for BI. In fact, on some of the tests, we are between 100 and 1,000 faster than some of the other databases. So you will get the speed of information with Sybase IQ. It's really a very good database for BI. It's something that was keeping in mind at the beginning. So with all these tools integrated together, we can really bring all the information. You will not have to take any consideration like I can't load all of the data because it will cost too much in terms of license and so on. So really, you can bring it, for example, we talk about customer, you can really bring the 360 of your information across social data. With data integrator, you can extract data information from, in fact, Twitter, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from any kind of data source, including, of course, your usual relational data source. You can integrate all of that, load that into Sybase IQ without taking into consideration volume, except for the hardware part. And you can really leverage the BI for the reporting. So Sybase IQ can really scale up to a petabyte of data. I think it's up to 32 cores of data. With Data Integrator, you can create some hierarchical data on top of your current data, so you can start to create really an historical data to some evolution. With the BI and the self-service, you can really grow in terms of user. You can open the BI to tools like, for example, SAP VI Intelligence, mobile. You can really bring this information to the mass of people in your organization, really to bring this information and historical information to one user. And the good news is you don't need any specific hardware. So if you already have some hardware to run your existing database or something else, you don't need any specific hardware. I don't have the list in mind of the hardware that SAP Sybase IQ run on, but probably most of the hardware you have can be used to run Sybase IQ. So really, you don't have to invest in new hardware. You can reuse your existing hardware, and you can lower your cost. So it's really a kind of cost-saving solution with, on top of that, performance, one vendor, and without having to care about multi-vendor issue or things like that. Response time will be much faster. You will always see a faster response time on our own solution. Once again, it's the kind of advantage of having just one vendor. And it's really, especially, for example, if you have a SAP application, the way we can really easily move the data from your operational data source, from your operational system to the BI in a much quicker way to really exploit the business insights into your data. And what you get with that is you can get the full scope of BI. It's not a subversion of any kind. It's not a limitation. So you can really, on top of Sybase IQ plugin universe, have the business intelligence platform, use any of the tools that we mentioned. So it could be Visual Intelligence, it could be our Office plugin, it could be Webby, and it could be mobile. Mobile being one of the key trend at the moment. You can leverage really well our mobile offering on top of those data sources. So I'm going to skip that slide. So really, to go back on mobile, so because BI is, of course, one of the important aspects of that, just in case you haven't moved into the BI world or you haven't deployed a mobile solution, think that you can do two types of consumption in mobile. You can do the standard reporting. If you remember when I was talking about visual intelligence, the static part, the known information, reporting, eventually dashboard, all of that you can do in mobile. Or you can do also something that is very interesting and very powerful, is the search and exploration. So if, for example, you use visual intelligence, you publish the data set to an Explorer, and you've got people in the field with their mobile device, and they can get, for example, they're going to see a customer. Just before going to the customer, they want to explore what the customer bought in the past. Then they want to see maybe if they have any open support case. They want to compare the buying of this customer with another customer in the same segment, and so on. They can do all of that with their mobile device. And really, mobile being one of the growing subjects at the moment. So what's important? It's complete. You get everything you need. It's affordable. The cost is really low compared to any other solution you can find providing the same kind of functionality. On top of the BI, on top of the database, and on top of the ETL, you also get predefined content. You also get analytical application. I don't have the exact list with me, but you get things like equal right management, you get that staff efficiency for healthcare, customer retention analysis. So on top of having all of that already defined, you already get some content, some reports, some dashboards. I think you even get some ETL script. So really you can develop very quickly the solution. And with the constraint of cost of database and so on going on, you can really go in the big data. You can really say, okay, I'm not going to limit in any way my data warehouse because of the cost. There is also a cost of cost of hardware, but it's really the part going down. So you can really say, okay, now let's go and have all the information we need in reporting. We have seen many cases where people don't have the information because it's too complex to load, it's too expensive, database is not big enough, and so on. You should remove all these constraints. And this software was also built with that in mind. It's really to allow you to bring all your data and to step in into the big data with Sybase IQ, which can, as I've mentioned in some of the examples, can handle very large volume. As I have mentioned at the beginning, SAP is a leader in BI and analytics in general. We are a leader in data warehouse, and we are a leader in data integration. So you get the one vendor approach plus the best of breed in one single case. And something very important with SAP, something that is something you also need to take into mind, is what we call 1 + 1 = 3, is the ecosystem. We've got a lot of partners. For ETL, for database, for BI, there is a lot of partners that can help you to develop. Of course, one of your partners is SAP as well. But there is really an ecosystem running around SAP that you can leverage for your investment. Once again, same kind of approach. You will see some of our partners showing all the capabilities for all those technology in one partner. And one of them could be SAP, of course, but with other partners where you can get one approach. But in terms of Sybase on top of IQ, it's not something that it's not something new. BI on top of IQ, it's something that is already used. We've got customers using both of them, like for example BNP, like Dexia in Belgium, Ericsson, Fortis, which is BNP Fortis now. And so on. So there is some already customer. It's not something we are trying. It's something we know works. It's something where we have the experience in the field to know that it does work. So I'm not going to read once again this slide. It's the same kind of the things. It's really performance, cost, and big data. So on that, we are going to open the line for the question for Q&A. Simon?
Okay, thanks, Alexis. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So I've just got one question in so far. I'm sure people will be happily typing away. Right, so why Sybase IQ instead of HANA, would you say?
Because Sybase IQ is just a software component. So in terms of cost, HANA, you need some specific appliance. You need something specific. So the cost, we wouldn't be able to do a cost per user. So, and you will have an appliance aspect to it. With SAP IQ, Sybase IQ, we can leverage your existing hardware. You don't need to invest in new hardware. You don't need to invest in all of that. And we can bring you that at a lower cost.
Okay. At the moment, we haven't got any other questions on this. So I'll go back to a couple of ones that we had from... oh, hold on. Sorry. I thought people might be coming in. Okay, let's have a look at this. We're currently developing KPI dashboard based on previous BW technology. What should we do now to prepare ourselves to migrate to VI, HANA, and benefit from what they are doing now?
So it's something you will need to see on a case-to-case basis. It's something we cannot reply universally. It will depend, for example, how far you are in your current development. I would say that if you are still developing something on SAP, on BW and BEX, using, I don't know, BEX Report Designer, BEX Analyzer, and so on, if you are not close to completion with your project, I think it's something where I will seriously recommend that you get in touch with your SAP account manager. There is so much we can do with Business Object BI that you cannot do with BEX. Most of the BEX projects, so BEX being BEX Reporter, Analyzer, and so on, are not going to be further developed. We are releasing very soon a replacement for Web Application Designer. So if you are doing dashboard that way, and you will be able in the future to migrate your work to this new technology. Now, it's depending on if you have already invested a lot in building your BW system, it's not the best approach to replace it straight on. If you have already invested a lot in that, but you have, for example, facing performance issue or something like that, then an approach like BW on top of HANA could bring a lot of value. But for the end layer, for the reporting layer, if you are really strong on BEX, I would recommend that you look at BI. It's where you will get all the innovation. It's where you will get, for example, mobile. It's where you will get, it's where you really will get the future. In terms of some of the limitation, like busy not being able to connect to BW or things like that, it's something we are working on very fast on. So it should not stop you from looking at this technology.
Okay, quick question on mobile BI device support. What do we cover on that? Anything around HTML5, Flash, Silverlight, for example?
Yes. So in terms of device, we are focusing now mainly on two technologies, being Android and iOS. So we still support BlackBerry, but I'm going to be honest with you. At the moment, we are evaluating, or it's involved in the market, but we are not investing a lot in that part. So we are mainly focusing on iOS and Android. We get, you can get your reporting at the moment, so WebEx or report. You can access Exploration View, and I can tell you that very, very soon you will be able to use your Excelsius dashboard on iOS. You can already use them on Android because of the Flash compatibility, but you will also very soon be able to use them on iOS, and that's mainly. So we will also look into streamlining our application to get one application for everything, but that will be further down the road. And once again, our main track are iOS and Android.
Okay. To keep you on your toes, we're going to go back to visual intelligence. Is this tool for experts, power users, super users who have a really good knowledge of the data, or is it open to all?
It's open to all, in my opinion, as long as they are willing to learn. So if you have, I don't know, a top manager, if he's not willing to go in the tools, don't go there. There is a part of you discover the tool, you learn the tool. Some of the people will still prefer to have predefined analytics, predefined report. You don't need to be an advanced user. You don't need to know very well the data. You can discover it, but kind of a little bit a logical way. If you don't know your data, the discovery part will take a little bit of time or something. You get raw data. You don't get data structured by folder or anything like that you will get in reporting. So in terms of useness, everyone can use it, but it's in terms of data discovery. If you don't know what your data means, then reporting could maybe be a first approach.
Okay, thanks, Alexis. I'm going to stop there because we're coming up to the hour. If anybody has got any unanswered ones we haven't managed to get through, please drop either myself or Alexis a line. You've got his details on screen there, and we'll just move across. The webcast has been recorded, as mentioned, and you can see there that all webcasts from the previous BI Innovation Series are available at the MES Central site. So November and December, we're going to continue with the same format of 2 topics for each session. We've got a review of the Guide to Mobile BI Technology, and we've got a strategy roadmap with technical considerations in November. And then we'll be focusing on what's happening around Design Studio for dashboards, and also an update on what's happening in the Business Suite in December. As I mentioned, though, if you would like to see some of the other sessions we've covered, there's a huge amount on demand if you want to check out that link. And if you'd like to get a little bit more information about the other solutions themselves, there's 3 links right at the back here of the Analytics Overview microsite. There's a BI Innovation ebook, which is quite easy to run through. It's got some great case studies in there, videos and testimonials. And just a quick recap on if you have been impressed with what Alexis talked about for VI, don't forget there is a 30-day free trial offer that I encourage you to go and try it out yourself, have a bit of a play, and make up your own mind. So with that, again, thanks to Alexis for 2 great presentations, and also for you taking the time. Please do check out the on-demand sessions, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That will conclude today's conference call.